Colonel Wyatt hits the screen, got stories bold and keen. Old soldier, sharp and mean, tells truths they've never seen. Rugby lover with a roar, Africa flowing in his core. YouTube rants they can't ignore, his passion makes his heart soar. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Military mind, keen and wise, truths come out, no disguise. South African skies, in his eyes, hear his voice, no surprise. Retired soldier with the fight, in the dark he brings the light. Angry rants, truths ignite, join the cause, join the ride. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Enemies knocked on his door, trolls attack, but he's more with each click. Watch him soar on the truth waves, he explodes. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, brawl. Right now, don't miss the brawl.
Take a picture.
Another day has arrived. We are still in the same place of disarray. Hope is in the distance. I can see a tiny glimpse of light, just a tiny, tiny light. It is there, I know it. I can feel it in my heart. I have prayed for it for oh so long. I know that it is coming our way. Tomorrow may not arrive. Yesterday has gone, but this I know. Today is gonna turn out just right. Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine. He has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our prayers are being answered, so don't despair. Someone we can trust, which has been a long time coming when our hopes were shattered. He is that tiny bright light in the distance. Tomorrow may not arrive. I can feel it in my heart. I have prayed for it for oh so long. I know that it is coming our way. Tomorrow may not arrive. Yesterday has gone, but this I know. Today is gonna turn out just right. Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine. He has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine. He has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our prayers are being answered, so don't despair. Someone we can trust, which has been a long time coming when our hopes were shattered.
Welcome back, folks. Sorry about that. The music got cut off a little bit early there. A little mistake here. Tech issue. All right, but welcome back to the program. It is a Thursday night, the 7th of August, 2025. Just days away from, well, we're already here with the tariffs already applied. Today was the first full day that tariffs will be applied to goods imported to the United States, and I'm still seeing news reports coming out of South Africa how the tariffs are going to hurt South Africans, driving up prices. How? How are tariffs going to hurt South Africans? It doesn't affect our imports coming to South Africa. I really don't understand. Are people this stupid? I mean, honestly, these are journalists who are reporting stories. Are they that dumb? I mean, this is like the third story I've seen. They haven't explained how this affects. Excuse me. They haven't yet explained how this affects. Now, this story does have an angle of Taiwan talking about putting tariffs on semiconductors. Yeah, that's different. But Trump's tariffs have no impact whatsoever. None whatsoever on the prices of goods and services in South Africa. They don't affect it. If anything, they would drive the price down because there's an oversupply of goods and services that can't be shipped to America now, and they got to dump them on the local market. I mean, the stupidity involved here of people, I mean, do they not understand basic mathematics, basic economics? Apparently not. Been a busy day, folks. I had a meeting this afternoon to talk about insurance for our veterans organization, business insurance, liquor liability insurance, workers' compensation insurance, so many different insurances. Also happened to mention my homeowner's insurance and like, oh, our company can do a lot better than that. So that's going to be an aside thing. And then later in the evening, I hosted a phone call between two groups of refugees here in the States and a media outlet back in South Africa. And that went on for a good hour and 45 minutes. So that's eating up a lot of my time. So I'm kind of tired tonight. Got rugby tomorrow. The Griquas are hosting Western Province, and Tristan Leds gets his first start of the season. Western Province is in desperation mode. The Griqua is not looking much better. We'll see what happens here as both these winless teams wind up playing on that concrete pitch up there in Kimberley. Well, folks, let me say hello to everybody in the chat here very quickly. Let's see what we've got. Mr. Echo's here. Anna Kruger, Art Queen Eliza. Jack Up is in. Are you with us for more than 5 minutes tonight, Jack Up? Boy, you were pretty tired last night. You just disappeared on us. And Tom Poltney, what's going on? Vela Pistorius, Candice Stridham, Christopher Mayer, Work People, Kratos, Ingrid's Inspirations, Ulrich Fenter, Fernadette said, okay. Ferry DeToy, Nicola. Hey, Nicola, what's going on? How's Belito? And Rebecca Tins, CB's here. Dylan Combrick. Dylan's such a loyal viewer. Richard Kuhn. CB, another loyal viewer. Mandy. Oh, these. I mean, all you guys that are here tonight are pretty much loyal viewers. No pop-ins tonight. No pop-ins. Tamu Maritime guy is leaving South Africa. Well, safe journeys. Smooth winds and fair sailing and smooth winds. Anyway, I always get that backwards. Jeremy's in from Indonesia. Welcome to you. And who else we got here? May says, no more snarky comments about us being car guards. Huh? Did Jack Up say anything about car guards? When did Jack Up say anything about car guards? Monica Velmont, welcome to you. And David van Rooyen says, spoke to a friend of mine. He recently built a brand new plant for a motor industry product. Now orders are pretty much gone. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Well, it's because the ANC. People blame America and blame Trump, but the bottom line is we've been getting screwed for decades, and it's not right. Maybe not a long live tonight. Yeah, no, I was thinking about maybe do a shorter live tonight. We'll see how it goes. And Marley Quinn's here. Welcome, Marley. Well, the ladies are in full mode here. Hannes, Stella 4, Blotkup is here. Inkwell Odyssey. Fonz is back. Hey, how's Richie Cunningham doing there, Fonz? Belito is cooler than usual. Sending love from Mom myself. Well, thank you so much for that, Nicola. Appreciate hearing that. Woke up what comment? I didn't see any comment. So, I don't see any comment here about car guards. I must have missed something. Okay, folks, don't be overly sensitive. You guys are owning the car guards thing. We made a song about it. We're making light of it, just like the Neanderthals, just like the canines comments from Notre Bloy. Own it. Don't let it be a denigration. Just because Fikiri Mabalula opened up his cake hole and spewed racist bile, don't let that ruin the vibe that came from the car guards jokes we've had, okay? All right? He doesn't know what a car guard is. He doesn't know what anything is. The guy's an idiot. Anyway, so don't let that ruin the vibe, okay? Sorry. And I'm sure that Jack Up meant it in the best of spirits. It was just meant because that's something people have joked about on this channel for day after day now. So don't get upset about it, okay? Petrus Fundalinda, welcome to you. Chronic Blunt Man. Blunt Man and Chronic. Also here. Hey, Nicolette. Herble, okay. All right, Maze, but see, being a moderator is not what offends you. It's what breaks the rules, okay? All right? I'm trying to admonish you here, but my first moderator got bent out of shape because my first moderator was deleting things that he didn't like. People didn't say anything wrong, and this goes back to 2020. My first moderator was Kyle Green, ZA, and Kyle wanted to be a moderator. I made a moderator, and then he promptly just kept deleting everybody in the chat. He didn't like what they had to say, disagree with it because it didn't match his political view, and I had to stop him. And I stopped him, and he got pissed off, and he left, which is wrong. It's not his channel. It's that was a privilege anyway. So all right, but Maze, you're doing a great job as a moderator. So anyway, thanks. Herman Lowe, waking up without wheels this morning is some dipshit slammed into us yesterday. I don't have a pickup. No. Any chance you loaning it to me for a while? No, I don't have a Bucky or a pickup. I do not. I have an SUV. I have a Toyota SUV. Denise Bellingham. Bellingham. Wow, that's an interesting surname there, Denise. Welcome to you. Willem Hart, what's going on, man? How's it going on? Yeah. Anyway, folks, like I said so earlier, I spent, by the time I got off talking to the journalist, it was almost 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes. So I hosted a session with some refugees that have come over, our staffers that are here in the States. And so it was a safe space for them to talk to this journalist who's writing a story. The journalist also interviewed Earl and some others. So yeah, we'll see when that story comes out and how it goes. But anyway, Veroshka, welcome to you. Anna Kruger. George is here. George is a good friend, man. How's it going, George? Oh, boy. Ernst, George met me at the airport, man. He's one of those people who met me at the airport. Amy met me at the airport in Joburg. George met me at the airport in Cape Town a couple of times. I got to tell you guys, when I come to South Africa and people meet me at the airport, it's really cool. And I fly in from one place to another. It's so cool. It's unnecessary, but it really is heartwarming. It's so special. People take time out of their day to come to the airport. I mean, it's it's just really, really cool. I don't know how to say, I don't know how to express that. It kind of reminds me of coming back from a deployment and people, family and friends are there to greet you at the airport. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I really like that. It's nice. And it's happened several times to me, when I landed at George, Rob Hutchison was there to meet me, and someone else was there too, which was really nice of them. I'm trying to remember who that was now. And so it's pretty cool. Yeah, Jeremy, I think it's to distract from the terrorists, but it's not going to resolve the terrorists. I think Fikeli's mission is to be an ass, to intentionally provoke and antagonize the Americans. Supposedly, Ramaphosa and Trump had a phone call, and so now they're going to tell us that they've been working towards solving this. No, they're not. They're just trying to get something. Is there a lot of German ancestry? Oh, yes. Tamu Maritime guy, yes. It's not a dumb question. I've talked about this. DNA-wise, if you look at the DNA of an average Afrikaner, the largest DNA contribution comes from Germans. The largest contribution in the Afrikaans community is actually ethnic German, followed by Dutch, French Huguenot, and to a lesser extent, Indonesian, Khoi, and San. Yep. Have I been on the Gautrain? I've never been on the Gautrain, Rudolph, but I have been to the train station where the Gautrain comes in, and it turns you white in fear. Yes, I've been to the train station where the train comes in, but I've never been on the Gautrain. Nope. I have no interest. I always wanted to do on the blue train, but I'm not wealthy. Yep. So, yeah, I don't think that Fikele really is all there. He's just he's not that in a bag of chips, to say the least. Anyway, so Jack Up, are you still here, or did you leave because you got censored? I hope you didn't leave. You were very surprised that you have German bloodline, but if you have Ottoman, yeah, in your lineage, exactly. So many of these folks. Divold von Tübingen, I have nowhere idea where Tübingen comes from. I wonder if it wasn't von Tübingen, if it was German, it got altered. It got altered. Jack Up, are you still here? Let me know you're still here. It is German, but von Tübingen, there's no place called Tübingen that I know of. That's Tübingen. Maybe it's from there. Or Thüringen. Thüringen is probably more like it, from Thüringen. The real Wesley Smith is here. Good to see you again. See, he's saying hello to the car guards. Our history in making. Exactly. Car guards and songs are history in making. Our new identity stories to tell future kids. Same as the Four Truckers. Yep. That is also why everyone is jumping on the racism of the podcast. Also interesting that it's okay from a certain majority group. Yeah. No, in fact, that should be a South African Human Rights Commission. If I were a South African, I would file a South African Human Rights Commission complaint today. Go there and do it now. Go there and complain to them right now. And you can even leave the broadcast and do it. Go on their website and complain about the racism, the bigotry of a sitting members of government who denigrates a group of South Africans. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Get him. Nail him on it. I have the electrons. I download them. We've got them for posterity. Yep. We've got them for posterity. Hank, what's going on, man? How you doing there? Oh, boy. So, yeah, it's been a long day. Tomorrow's going to be a long day, too. But I did get the lineups here. I know that not everybody's interested in the rugby, but I am. So where is it at? Here it is. Griquas versus Province. That game is going to be on at, what time is it my time? I think it's probably going to be about 1 o'clock my time. Let me just see. Go to Flow Rugby. Make sure they still got the game on because these turds drop these things. Griquas versus Province. Oh, it's at 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow? Son of a gun. I'm going to have to get up early for that game. I didn't realize it, but that means I'll do the news on time. Wow. Okay, so that's a 3 p.m. game in South Africa. Interesting. Let me make sure it says 3 p.m. on here because, yep, 3 p.m. Wow. So, yeah, so let's take a look at, so for Province, Tristan Leds is playing. Justin Khadul is back. Good to see him. Damian Marcus, he's been a stud so far. Who else we got there? Yuri Matia is back at the fly half. That's good to see. So some changes going on here from the last couple weeks. Yeah, a lot of names I still don't know, though. For the Griquas, Connor Mahoney's back. He was really good last week. Yeah, what else we got here? Yeah, I said winless. The Griquas did win that game last week. I'm sorry, I misspoke. But Province is in desperation mode. If the Griquas can win here, that will really consign Province to the bottom of the log because there's only 7 games apparently this season. So people are predicting the Griquas will win 58 to 40%. 27-23 being the score. Well, I think I've picked my Super Brew, but let's go take a look at that very quickly. Make sure I've made my predictions on Super Brew. I think I did. Dashboard. Okay, let's go. First, I'm going to go captaincy, see if anyone else wants to sign up for my leagues because people are signed up late. Oh, that's taking a long time. Come on, Super Brew. I hate when it does that. Yeah, I've got the Griquas by 7. Cool. And then I've got the Bulls by 14 and the Cheetahs by 10 over the Sharks. And this captaincy thing is not showing up. So make sure I get all my predictions here. Oh, this is not working at all. Not working at all. What is going on here? Boy, Super Brew is not working. Oh, that sucks. There it goes. Finally got something working here. Yeah, I picked the Griquas by 7 last week, and they won by 9 points. It was perfect. It's perfect. I got 3 of the 4 Curry Cup games correct last week, but I missed out on the Province game because I played my heart and not my brain. I do that sometimes. It just happens. Oh, there is someone trying to join. Let me just manage pool. Get these people in here. Oh, no, there's nobody here. Okay, it said someone was trying to manage. Trying to get in. Let's see, manage pool if we got anybody in here. Nope, nobody. Everybody's there. Okay, cool. All right, so just checking those out. Super Brew. Yep, so I'm ready for that. Under 18's playing France tomorrow. Okay. Durbanville. Under 18, they play great rugby. Oh, I like the Griquas. course, Western Province is not going to include URC players. Every game will be tough. You're right, Frank. You're right about that. What's the public holiday tomorrow, man? May's looking forward to live commentary. Well, thank you for that. When I was a young deck officer in the U.S. Coast Guard, we stopped in Cape Town. Oh, thank you, Tamu Maritime guy. Ah, you were the Coast Guard. Nothing but major respect for our Coast Guard. They do a lot with very little. They only have 45,000 members, and they have massive mission. And people don't realize the Coast Guard travels all over the world. Yep. During wartime, they become part of the Department of Defense, but right now they're part of the Department of Homeland Security. Yeah, nothing but respect for the Coast Guard. They do amazing things. They put their lives on the line every single day, stopping narco traffickers, doing search and rescue missions, patrolling our maritime. See, it's just, and they also train foreign militaries. Yep. My mother from German and my dad from French descent. Reason why I have a very short fuse. Okay, Tom, is that what it is? Rugby is always a heart matter, not a brain matter. I agree. Stella, that's a fair point. 164, 169 watch now. Please hit the like button. Just 94 likes. High hopes that Griquas trash the Stormers, me being a Bull supporter. Well, Willem, I'm a Province and Stormers supporter, but I'm very disappointed in performance. I'm actually going to go against my judgment because I think the season is written off for the Province, and I'm going to pull for the Griquas. A couple of years ago, I was so excited. I covered the final. The Griquas hosting the Pumas. They had not won since 1970, and no matter how it ended, either the Griquas going to win for the first time in 5 decades, and get their second Curry Cup, or it was going to be the Pumas get their first ever, and in the end, it was the Pumas. That was disappointing, but still it was okay. Shop owners will use tariffs as an excuse to raise prices, but that's not the argument that the journalists are making. They're not making the argument that they will use. They're saying that because the tariffs are being imposed, your prices are going up. That's horse manure. That's not true. Not true. They're stupid. And these people pass. I mean, look, what passes for journalism in South Africa really drives me absolutely nuts, folks. It's very poor. Very poor. Very, very poor. It's ridiculous. ANC must be removed from government. They create more and more trouble for South Africa, says by Boisili Isaac. Oh, thank you for that. Have you been following Pretoria High School girls? Yes, I have. I have, Hannes. And the Gauteng Department of Education's racist activity, I have been following it very much. Richard Wilkinson is the journalist who's covered the story from the very beginning. I've interviewed him, had him on the program, and I've also repeatedly covered the story. Yep, I've talked about it. No, what you had happen at the Pretoria High School for Girls is what you have happen frequently. A number of black South Africans colluded to get white South Africans punished for being racist when the people being racist were the blacks. Now, black South Africans aren't generally racist, but these high school black girls passed their WhatsApp message around talking about how they're going to get the white girls, how they're going to get them kicked out of school and get people to think that they're racist. And so they plotted this whole thing and they lied about it. And then, of course, the racist Gauteng Department of Education officials jumped right on it, investigated. They suspended the teacher with the principal with no justification whatsoever. And they went after these girls. These girls were suspended from school when they hadn't even been charged with a formal offense. It violated the entire Gauteng Department of Education's rules on how to handle discipline. Everything was done criminally, and there should be people criminally prosecuted, but they won't because they're protected black racist, and they're protected in South Africa. Black racists are protected, and so they won't be prosecuted. No, I followed the story from the very beginning. Just like the principal there down in KZN, or Eastern Cape, who was accused of raping a child, rape that apparently never occurred, and whether it occurred or not, he wasn't even on school grounds when it supposedly occurred. And then you got big mouth, lying, race hustling members of the police and of government that are calling him guilty of child rape. His life was destroyed. His job is gone. And this is just garbage. That's what's in the press, not that he never did anything. These people are just horrible. Absolutely horrible. There are real problems in South Africa without racists inventing racist problems because they're so racist and hate white people so much. That's what they do. They plot to destroy them by lying about them. You can't trust anything you hear in the news anymore. You can't. Because 8 out of 10 times it's just made up nonsense to destroy a person's reputation. These people need to start paying prices. They need to start being charged with criminal offenses, convicted, and then bankrupted, paying off the debt they have to pay for the fines, to make people whole again. That's what needs to happen. Do you think South Africa will head the same road as Zimbabwe? No, Maya Strauss. I don't think so. That doesn't mean South Africa's not going to collapse. I'm just saying it's not going to be like Zimbabwe. ZANU-PF never lost control. They're still in control. So I think the ANC is headed for the dustbin of history. Well, 140,000 has been raised for her after she was suspended without pay. That's great. Is she back at her job? The racist Gauteng Department of Education needs to be investigated by an ombudsman or by somebody, and those people need to start being investigated and prosecuted for their acts. What did Phoenix say? What happened here? My dad was in Fourie, so we're from France. I think people don't like Fouries. Difficult people. Okay. Oh, Women's Day. That's what it is. Oh, Ingrid, your husband passed Women's Day. Sorry to hear that. What's my opinion of the possibility of podcasts being policed in South Africa? I think it's very strong. We're already seeing it. I didn't watch the podcast in which the open podcast apparently were racist and said vile things supposedly against colored South Africans, which is uncalled for and inappropriate. But they should be allowed to be as stupid as they want to be. They should. Those words are not crimes. They may be racist, they may be inappropriate, they may be condescending, they may be stereotypical, but that doesn't justify shutting down their speech. And that's what's going on now. There's an effort to silence them. I watched a little bit of their podcast. It's a bunch of boring 20-somethings that aren't even funny. They think they're funny, sitting around joking, and I guess people have nothing else to do with their life, so they watch it. But shutting them down is not legitimate. That's wrong. It's like what happened to Roman Kabanak. He never said anything that justified being fired by the government. He never broke the rules. He never violated his oath to the government of South Africa. And the cowards named John Steenhuisen and well, not the DA, they're not responsible. John Steenhuisen, he's the one that tried to get him out of there after hiring him. And so I hope that Roman Kabanak got a big settlement because the actions of the Department of Agriculture and John Steenhuisen are immoral and cowardly in the face of the press. Yeah, my wife got me up early, so I actually got your live for a change. Hey, Quids, how's it going? So her name is Lo, and that's pronounced Law in Dutch. Well, I don't speak Dutch. What is your opinion on the possibility of... Okay, I already got that. Okay. Yeah, no, I think they're going to try it. But the thing is that they won't be able to stop it unless they take superhuman efforts to get there, because you can use VPN to tunnel back to a server in another country to do it. But they can come after you for committing the crime, but they can't stop it, is what I'm saying. But here's the thing. They can't stop people in Canada, in Japan, in the United States from talking about South Africa, can they now? So Joel Pollack can say what he wants and they won't be able to stop him. She's appealed the guilty verdict and suing. She's taking a stand for so many who are afraid to. Well, good for her. What guilty verdict? What was she found guilty of? She wasn't guilty. They proved that those racist girls did that, and nothing's happened to them. They weren't suspended or kicked out of school. All the white girls that happened to were prefects. They were removed from being prefects. They were kicked out of school, and their lives were turned upside down and destroyed and called racist. So what view are they going to have of black people going forward after being treated like this? Hopefully not a bad view, because that's not how black people are. But these little shithead female students in the school, that's exactly what they are, and they need to be exposed as a racist they are. And whoever raised them ought to be exposed for raising racist. Gotta get ready for my watch. Come now, stay safe. Okay, I'm very curious now about Tom Maritime guy. If he's on a cargo ship or what's going on there. If you're on a cargo ship and you're headed towards the Straits of Hormuz, or you're headed towards the Red Sea, please be careful. Somali pirates out there. Mine is Schultz, German Jew. Well, Schultz is not a Jewish name, but there are Jews that have the name Schultz. Schultz is a German name. Okay. Deval Duplessis, welcome to you. Right, folks, let's put up a couple things here very quickly for the early birds and the night owls. All right, so the real pain is coming for South Africa. Yep, the real pain is coming, folks. What do you mean, Jeremy? Is that not suppression of free speech? It is suppression of free speech, but so is prosecuting someone for using the K word. Or calling someone a racist because they use the word hobo. It's not a racist word. It's not even a racist slur. It's not even a slur. It's just stupid people. That's you should have freedom of speech. You should have freedom to be as stupid as you want to be. What Nota Beloye said was immoral and it was racist, but he shouldn't be silenced for it. Shouldn't be silenced at all. The only problem that we had with the Notabloy thing is that the hypocrisy of the South African Captured Human Rights Commission in making a huge deal about Ronaldo, about a 15-year-old video that wasn't even directed at any individual or any group of people. It was simply stating what would they feel like if they heard someone say that about them. It was an educational thing. It was hyperbole, and they used it to destroy his political career. Meanwhile, Notabloy, nothing happened to him. And I don't think anything necessarily should have happened to him. If people don't like what he said, they should shun him and not pay attention to him. And the same with the open podcast. If people don't like the content, they should shun it and not watch it. But to punish them legally, that's just asinine. That's not a true government. That's a cowardice. That's a cowardly government that's afraid of speech. That's a cowardly government that's afraid of criticism. And I don't want to hear this, oh, but you don't understand the context, Chris. The historical, stop it. Stop it. Do you understand the historical context of the pogroms in Belarus and Poland and Russia? The constant murder of Jews over centuries. Do you understand that? Do you understand the Vertreibung, the expulsion of 13 million Germans from the Eastern territories that it occupied for 1,000 years or more? Hundreds of thousands of German girls and women raped. 4 million killed, dying of starvation, the cold weather, typhus, hunger, murder, shot down, strafed by Soviet columns. I don't want to hear as if what happened in South Africa is unique. It's never happened anywhere else. That's bullshit. It's total bullshit. It's happened all over the world throughout human history. Look at Cambodia. People wearing eyeglasses were considered intellectuals and were murdered for it. Anyone who had any education was murdered for it. 1 million people slaughtered in Cambodia. 850,000 slaughtered in Rwanda. I don't want to hear the special circumstances of South Africa, and I don't get it, because that's just nonsense. That's just cognitive dissonance about what's happened in the world. Total disregard for the rest of the world. That is such rank, self-centered behavior by South Africa. It is. No, we stay out of those zones, tanker. Oh, okay. Well, I hope you got armed security on there. That's the thing that drives me nuts there, Tamu. It absolutely drives me bonkers that these things happen. I mean, I would have had armed security guards. I would have had rocket-propelled grenades. I would have had automatic weapons. I would have had searchlights. I would have had nets, all kinds of things. And every time these pricks come and try to take my ship, I would take them down. And also, I would also consider having a mini sub that you could launch off the back of a tanker or off the back of a cargo container ship, which would go out and sink these clowns. Ronaldo got the short end of stick to do was really screwed over, but you really can't cry over spill milk. No, Duvall, but you can point out the hypocrisy, and that's what I'm doing. Charmaine Fenter gave a 140 Rand sticker. Thank you for that, Charmaine. Appreciate it. Oh, that's why I didn't hear it, because I got my sound off. I'm fine with being called a Neanderthal car guard canine. It just means that I'm going to bite you. I understand why I bit you. That's good. Good morning, you can all. Common sense is not that common. Yes. Creating new memories. Cherish the ones you've made together, but allow yourself to make new ones. A bunch of ostriches with their heads in the sand and relying on the wrong people. Such here. Yeah, I agree. She was found guilty of nepotism. She allowed her husband to prune the roses for free. How's that nepotism? He didn't gain anything. I know. You're honest. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I remember that. I'm like, how can you accuse her of nepotism? She wasn't paying him. He had no position of influence. He had no say over what's going on. That's not nepotism. You want nepotism? Let's look at Paul Mashatili's son and the contracts he got. You want to talk about that? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, these people don't know what nepotism is. Fansal would be Dutch. Okay, so von, V-O-N, is German. Fan is Dutch, V-A-N. It means the same thing, from. Yep. Yeah, South Africans definitely are the woe is me nation of the world. Couldn't agree more, Chris. Some people get so wrapped up in their own story that they have no empathy for anyone else. Exactly. Rules for thee, not for me. Happening in South Africa about racism. Yep. If youth is acting racist, it's indeed the parents that should be blamed. I taught my kids to show the same respect for a person regardless of color. Yep, I agree. And it's exactly right. Parents bear responsibility for that. Yep. So the real pain is coming from South Africa, according to economists. Business Tech says, economists say the tariff's true impact will only start to be felt in the country in 2026. Well, that depends what you mean by true impact. The impact is already being felt, as I talked about Brno. Anyway, the non-lethal arms manufacturer from Indiana has shut down its ammunition factory in Pretoria back on the 13th of March and began producing the ammunition here in the States. because they saw the tariffs coming. That's already affected. We've seen the factory in two factories in the Eastern Cape, one that manufactures automobile equipment to make parts for automobiles and ships in the States, lost 750 million rand in orders, 30-some million dollars. Yeah. Yep. Is that 37? 35 million, 30 million dollars. Yeah, and then we've got other impacts happening already. We've seen the number of automobiles shipped to the United States in the most recent quarter drop from 9,700 last year to 1,100 this year, and likely drop to zero here very soon. So while the economists say that you're going to see the massive impact, if that's what they mean, that will be coming. Yes, it'll take some time for that to accrue, and that's what I said. Nothing magic will occur on August 1st. It's already underway. Jobs are already being lost, and that will be magnified as time goes by. And this nonsense about alternative markets, everybody has to find alternative markets. Do you think you're going to be able to compete with the rest of the world? I doubt it. I doubt it. The reason why South Africa's goods and services came to America is you had an artificial advantage. You had AGOA. You shipped cars in duty-free. People don't do that from Europe or elsewhere. They had to pay duty. Now you've lost that, and it's worse. Well, a shaky foundation. All the private groups involved in this national dialogue $700 million scandal, 700 million rand scandal, I should say, are threatening to back out. Several of the foundations involved in the process have raised concerns about the management of logistics relating to the national dialogue. Some threatening to withdraw their participation days before it starts. Yep. Foundations involved in the dialogue include Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe, the FW de Klerk, Thabo Mbeki, Desmond and Leah Tutu Legacy, Umlambo, Chief Albert Lutuli, Kakalema Motlanta, and Jakes Gerwal. Yep. So, through the national dialogue, we seek a shared vision of what it means to be South Africa, South African, to develop a new national ethos and a common value system. It's an opportunity to forge new social compact. Why do you need something new? Why do you need something new? This is all bullshit. South Africa has a liberal constitution. All citizens are created equal under the law. Under the law, not in practice. You don't need a dialogue for this. You have 12 official languages. You've included everything. You've included traditional leadership structure with chieftains and kings. Why do you need a new national dialogue? This is all bullshit. All bullshit. Good morning, Stinkmaster. Hey, Reno, what's going on? We're losing a lot of business now. They just get worse. Yep, heard Maris is off. Yes, well, they're retreating. They're cutting one of their routes, eventually all their routes directly to the U.S., cutting it in half, and you have to go through Europe now, which means we're not going to be able to send things that perish. It's going to be screwed up. Heard that there are 27 vacancies in national trade positions, so chance of the markets, which requires skill and government to go. I don't know anything about that, Shannon. Pine will buy our fruit and citrus, but they will pay less than what the U.S. paid. That's true, too. Well, and they have tariffs on it, folks. Yeah, they have huge tariffs. Let me look and see. One of the complaints was that they had 30 and 40% tariffs. Let's see what we get here. This is untrue. AI is lying. They're saying China's removed all tariffs on goods from South Africa. That's not true. The zero tariff policy only applies if you eliminate all tariffs coming the other direction. So it's simply not going to happen. Simply not going to happen. So I'm looking to see what the tariffs are. Fish, 9%. Other, 25%. Meat, 12%. Sheep, 15%. Trout, 12%. Pork, 20%. Primates. Poultry, 5%. It's not bad. Mackerel, 7%. So those aren't that bad. It isn't 30 and 40%, so it's better than the U.S. right now, if that's still accurate. African trade officials are changing strategies urgently in the wake of tariff tsunami, ranging from 10 to 30% imposed on August 1st. Most governments concentrate their focus on three alternatives: China, EU, and the African Continental Free Trade Area. But none will offer a quick fix for the financial losses caused by U.S. tariffs. Hardest hit will be South Africa. The U.S. is the third largest trading partner, actually it's the second, in a market for 70.5% of its exports, more like 6. That puts 100,000 jobs at risk, more like 141,000 in the automotive industry alone, and more like half a million, and about 10 billion in revenues. That's 12 billion in revenues. Boy, this thing is so wrong, African Confidential. This is the worst outcome of the continent, but most economies will take a hit. Anyway, so African Confidential got that wrong. It has tomorrow's date on it. No, it has today's date on it. Sorry. Yep, that's wrong. So, yeah, they're not going to give you zero tariffs. No, China announced a big fanfare in June that they're eliminating tariffs on goods from Africa. What people didn't pay attention to is the fine print. China will remove the tariffs if you remove all tariffs on all their goods. That's not exactly as magnanimous as made it sound. Yeah, primates are listed. You can ship, well, for testing. People import primates, The Reston primate facilities where we had Ebola in Reston, Virginia back in the day. That's where that movie Outbreak is based off of. So late race discussion against coloreds on national TV last night. Well, it's good people are talking about it, Maggie. I'm glad to hear people talking about it. We must be talking about the open podcast, yeah. Yeah, but the EU is not a country. And the EU doesn't trade as a partner. So that's a misnomer. That's a lie. The EU is not a country and it doesn't trade. There's no ships that come and say, these are EU goods. They're German, they're French, they're Italian, they're Swedish. Yeah, that's the problem with that. So U.S. is the second largest trading partner. It's not 7.5% of import goods. It's 6%. They're using the wrong data there. Anyway, it's not really important. Compare the trade deals offered to China and the U.S. The comparison is insulting. Yes, indeed. But they say they're going to turn to China. They're just really stupid people. Dark clouds gather over tech. Now, here's another story, this one by Jan van Meulen, which implies that the tariffs are driving up the cost of tech, but that's not the case. South Africa imports very little tech from the U.S., and even if it does, there are no tariffs that we're applying to it. It doesn't work that way. Technology distributor Esquire says South Africans should brace for significant price increase in the next few months as the impact U.S. tariffs increases filters through. Esquire Technology Chief Executive Officer Mohammed Kasim said that many companies, them included, saw this coming and stocked up as much as they could. However, the price increase will as they restock. The tariffs, which take effect, they will directly affect sectors such as automobile manufacturing and agriculture while exempting critical minerals. Okay, so again, excuse me, I'm sorry, Jan van Meulen and Mr. Mohammed Kasim, how in God's green acre does U.S. imposing taxes on your goods coming into America affect prices in South Africa? It doesn't. It doesn't. Goods coming from China aren't affected. There's no impact. The tariffs of the U.S. have nothing to do with Taiwanese semiconductors. Aha. But if Taiwan follows through on its threat to sanction and boycott or to embargo microprocessors South Africa, then you've got a problem. But another lie. This is another lie. This is the third story I've read in the last 2 days about how, and this is, people fall for this. I mean, explain it to me. Honestly. Okay. I'm going to do this. Not to insult my audience, but this is for the 3-year-olds in the media. This is for the 3-year-olds in the media. Okay, so your product cost 100 Rand. I don't have any dollars here, sorry. I don't have this monopoly money. 100 Rand, okay? So you buy something for 100 Rand. It comes from the U.S., Microsoft Office, okay? If there's a tariff applied to it, and it's 30%, then it's now 130 Rand, okay? Okay, I don't mean to be, I'm not insulting my audience, but now it's 130 Rand. Except that that's not going to happen because we don't apply tariffs to goods exported. And South Africa is not imposing tariffs on U.S. imports. So that 30 Rand never gets applied. So how does 130 go up? It doesn't unless you're being gouged by distributors who are trying to take money out of the pockets of rubes. Now, the flip side of that, you export to the U.S. 100 Rand of biltong. Yesterday, it was 100 Rand. Today, it's 130 Rand. Except $130. Okay? I don't understand how stupid these people are. They're really, truly dumb as a box of rocks. Now, you can make the argument that it's going to affect the domestic sector, but how? You've got to make the argument. You can't just claim that Trump's tariffs are raising prices in South Africa, because they're not. That's horse manure. That's total horse manure. Absolute stupidity. What's going on with Tion Becker? What's the question here? I'm a truck driver in South Africa hauling citrus from pack houses at Cape Town port the whole week. All my loads got canceled. And I saw it was all USA loads. Well, Tion, I've been saying that. That's what's going to happen, yeah. They all get canceled. Now all stuff's going to rot unless they turn it into orange juice or freeze it. Yeah. Yes, but that's not what the crux of the story is. They're claiming it's because of the tariffs. Now, later on in this story, they actually do talk about the semiconductors, but that's not. Dark clouds gather. There's a picture of Trump. Trump has nothing to do. Put dollars on rands on it. It has nothing to do with it. Down here, they finally get around to Taiwan. Taiwan said it's considering restricting semiconductor exports. Now, that will do it. Estimates place Taiwan's market share in semiconductor manufacturing between 50 and 70%. That goes to 90% when considering the world's most advanced chips. So that's a very real threat, but they haven't followed through on that yet. The tech industry is affected by the rand dollar exchange rate, not the tariffs. There are too many idiot errors. Yeah. So there you go. South Africans pay 45% customs as well as 15% VAT. So 60%. That doesn't change. Unless you're a radical and threatening destruction, you're a racist. Interesting. Yeah, exactly, Lynn. How are these people in a paying job? And how do they get published? I mean, you all saw Rebecca Davis' video or article about the refugees and the ominous title of it. It's all BS, total nonsense. Gideon, the rand is holding up well. Well, that's fine. That doesn't really affect me at the moment. It's just colorful money. Logic dictates oversupply of oranges should make it very cheap. Exactly. So that's my point. So here's the deal. If all those oranges can no longer be shipped to America, they've got to be shipped somewhere. Well, it's too late to fabricate a market in the Netherlands or demand. So you're not going to pay to ship them to the Netherlands and let them rot on the dock. It's going to cost you a fortune. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to sell them locally. And what's that going to do to the price? Now you have an oversupply of oranges. The market's be saturated. The price will drop. The same with the automobiles. They made all these cars, Mercedes, C-Class cars. They're not shipping to America anymore because nobody's buying them. So what are you going to do with them? There isn't a ready-made market that's going to buy those C-Class cars with wholesalers, distributors, and shipping lanes. So they're going to have to sell them in South Africa. What's that going to do? It's put a glut on the marketplace, an overabundance of those Mercedes C-Class. So what is that going to do? They're going to sit on the lot till somebody buys them, or they're going to lower the price and you're going to get it. So if anything, these tariffs will make things cheaper in South Africa. They'll make things more expensive in America, but they're going to make things cheaper in South Africa. I don't understand why this is so complicated for these idiots to understand. What we're having is sensational. You're right, Rudolph. That's the problem. Well, Rudolph, I don't know why. I drove a left-hand drive in South Africa, so then they're just stuck with them. Yeah, that's a good point you make. Left-hand drive. I drove a left-hand drive. My truck was in South Africa. Rebecca was told that raw materials the U.S. imports manufacturing goods we purchase are affected by the tariffs affecting the price we pay. But the problem with that story, Rebecca, is that the tariffs aren't being applied to those raw materials. 36% of the exports to the United States are not covered by the tariffs. There's no tariff on platinum, for instance. So that argument they're making also doesn't hold water. See, that's the problem when you have these people that know nothing about economics that start commenting. They're wrong. Two 257 watching. Wow. Okay, cool. Have an awesome day. Varoshka, take care. Have a safe day working. Cabinet press briefing said Cabinet decided the diamond industry will have to give 1% of the revenue. 1% of the revenue for what? And who are they to decide? That's not a law. You can't decide that. That's a dictatorship. There's no law that says you have to give up 1% of your revenue. Where do you hear that at, Krista? Yeah, Marley Quinn can never find blood oranges. Now they're everywhere in the stores. Yes, because they're not coming to America. Local suppliers will go bankrupt if they don't drop their prices. We were screwed for decades. Yep. Swallow Dam, Bonneville has water. Okay. Donnie Poppa says you're stuck on economics, but it's all politics. ANC must fall. No. Donnie, you're not listening to me, Donnie. I'm not stuck on economics. I'm explaining to you these stupid fake news stories that are dumb. I'm telling you the media is lying to you. That's what I'm doing. You're confused. I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about the media. As for the cars, I guess Mercedes-Benz will have to send them to other left-hand drive markets. Well, Peter, given that 85% of the planet drives on the correct side of the road, there ought to be someplace they can sell them. Only Anglophone countries and Japan are drunken and drive on the wrong side of the road. That's the only place it happens at. I think dealers will legally not be allowed to sell new cars with the steering wheel on the wrong side. That's possible, Keith. I have no idea. It's also not on the wrong side. It's the correct side. Britain screwed up the world, and that's another example of it. Fortunately, most of the world didn't fall for it. Government are going to use tariffs to bleed us dry because people are led by their noses. Well, you're already paying massive import taxes, and that's why you're getting the tariffs. Because the South African government imposes those massive tariffs on us. But we got Fikile Mabalula talking about the punitive tariffs. They're not punitive. The punitive is what you've applied to U.S. goods and services. These clowns are funny. Left-hand drive once. They said we can't get it licensed anymore. Okay. All right. Not sustainable. ANC wants to demonstrate that USA tariffs are not affecting us. Again, for ANC stupid people. Yeah, they should wear a sign. So far, the USA has not imposed punitive sanctions, but only reciprocal sanctions. The 10% BRICS tariff is not yet. Exactly. That's right, Peter. That would be punitive. That one would be punitive. The 10% tariff from BRICS would be punitive, not a reciprocal tariff. You're correct. Well, good distinction there. Hey, Jack, up past an Army service center in town. What exactly is in this place? I don't know what you're talking about, Jack, up. Army service center? Are you talking about a recruiting center? Is it in a shopping mall, a strip mall or something like that? We typically lease offices like businesses do in shopping centers or malls, typically shopping centers, and that's where the recruiters have their offices at so that people can find them. And then they go to high schools and do recruiting. So I'm not sure what you're talking about, service center. I don't know what a service center is, and I don't know what town you're talking about. You're talking about in Minneapolis? You got to give me more information there. I can't. I'm not Karnak. Listening while showering. We're going to a Middle East port. We just don't need what you discussed. Okay, for us to pass through Suez more specifically. Okay, last word. ANC screwed around, and now they find out. Yeah, my question is, why do we export our goods to have them packaged and then returned at a marked up price? I'm not sure what goods you're talking about there. I think the 1% is to do with the diamonds that's in trouble for medical AIDS. I don't know what that is. Okay. Apparently for advertising, diamond industry. During the press briefing after. Well, if the diamond industry companies agree to pay it, that's a different story. If they decide to put it into a fund. But you can't just make a decision that they have to pay it. It doesn't work like that. South African companies scramble for solutions as punitive tariffs bite. Again, they're not punitive. They're simply reciprocal. Orders amounting to $750 million are in limbo for South African assembly solutions firm. Yep, we already talked about that. Yep. Paul Mashatile heralds a missing Liberation Era operative. Deputy President Paul Mashatile unveiled a bust of Mbulelo Ngongo, an MK operative who disappeared in 1988 after being abducted by apartheid security forces in Lesotho. And once again, they misspell apartheid. It is a proper noun. It must have a capital letter. Before his abduction, Ngongo and other operatives fought in a 36-hour battle with members of the Transkei Defense Force, Transkei Police, and the South African Police in the Eastern Cape. So they committed crimes in South Africa and they disappeared. He's challenged currently to demonstrate the same courage as freedom fighters like Ngono in pursuit of the fully free and democratic South Africa. Fully free and democratic South Africa. I think the fully free and democratic South Africa would mean a country without the ANC in power. That would be a fully free South Africa. Yeah. USA must adopt metric system. We have the metric system, Fonz. Why do people consistently refuse to accept that we have the metric system? We use metrics here. Why do people? I mean, this cognitive dissonance and this complete disregard for reality. Again, what does this say right on the bottle? 9.5 fluid ounces, 281 milliliters. We have metrics. We use metrics. Don't know why people don't do that. We sell metric tool sets. We sell standard American equivalent tool sets. We sell both. We have the best of both worlds. Cognitive dissonance. Well, Africa's richest country, it's bankrupt, is joining the African Export-Import Bank. Wow, it only took since 1994 for the ANC to get around to this. South Africa is a step closer to becoming a full sovereign member of the African Export-Import Bank. Full membership could enhance access to trade and investment products crucial for export markets. South Africa is one step closer to becoming a full sovereign member of the African Export-Import Bank, the continent's premier trade finance institution, after its cabinet approved the plan. Full membership, which has a $35 billion balance sheet, would give Africa's most industrialized economy, its most rapidly deindustrializing economy, expanded access to trade and investment products. The move comes as South Africa seeks alternative export markets in the wake of the heightened tariff tensions. There recently been a center of debate over whether its loans to African countries should be restructured in the event of sovereign defaults. Yeah. South Africa was unable to join the Export-Import Bank as a founding sovereign member when the institution was established in 1993 due to the country's international isolation. They have 4 shareholding categories. Class A includes African governments and regional financial institutions like the African Development Bank, and they hold more than 50% of the shares across 53 member states. But South Africa is not a member. Not a member. Truecaller is under investigation by South African authorities. People have complained about Truecaller. Lots of complaints. Interesting. South Africa's information regulator says it's investigating complaints it has received against its call screening platform, Truecaller. This call comes after several companies and individuals lobbied the regulator to crack down on Truecaller. South Africa's biggest data center will cut the cord to Eskom. South Africa's largest data center company, Terraco, has reaffirmed its plan to stop using fossil fuel-based electricity to power its operations by the year 2035, 10 years from now. 8 data centers currently support a critical power load capacity of 185 megawatts across 4 campuses in 3 major cities, Joburg, Cape Town, and Durban. The company has already installed 6 megawatts of rooftop solar at its campuses, which it will expand to 10 by the end of next year. The company will also buy 120 megawatts of privately generated power from a utility-scale solar plant in the Free State, which is set to become operational next year. That will enable them to have 50% of their electricity sourced from clean sources. Okay, first off, that's fiction. There's such thing as a clean source. Solar photovoltaic panels are pollution generating, and it takes over a decade before you match the carbon output from traditional coal-fired power plants to what it costs in economic and ecological degradation from solar panels. It takes over a decade. USA must adopt. Okay, got that already. These clowns of the government behave. They're empty skulls. So they can go through this without the USA and want to stand around. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Uma for Stoffer, are the tariffs only for Mercedes-Benz? I might be in the market for a vehicle. The tariffs aren't for anything, Uma. Okay, you must have tuned in late. There are no tariffs on your goods. Those cars produced in South Africa are produced in South Africa if they make them with right-hand drive. The tariffs don't affect that. The tariffs are imposed by your government already. There's nothing new. We don't ship cars. Well, we do ship cars to South Africa, but a very small number. And we don't ship Volkswagens to South Africa, so it would have no impact. No impact. See, this is the problem. The public is being led to believe that their country is being collapsed because American goods are becoming more expensive. They're not. They're already ridiculously expensive because of the protectionism of the South African government. Your goods coming here, that's what's going to be hitting the tariffs. Yep. I ask every Army officer, I haven't researched your service period. I met the best leader I've experienced as Lieutenant Colonel 2006 in Basra. Colonel, I don't know him. Don't know. You haven't researched my service period? My service period is 1983 to 2019. Served 3 tours of duty in Germany, 1 in Italy. In Africa, I was stationed in Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Niger, Mauritania, Uganda, and Ethiopia. I worked at the National Security Agency, where I ran a $3 billion acquisition program. I worked at the Defense Intelligence Agency, where I wrote for the President of the United States. I taught ROTC, Reserve Officer Training, at Iowa State. I taught at the Army War College, Director of African Studies. I worked at U.S. European Command, U.S. Africa Command. I was a guest lecturer at the G5 Sahel Defense College, the Nigerian War College. I served multiple combat tours. I also involved in the Kosovo campaign, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, some other, the Operation Enduring Freedom. So long period of time. You were in AFRICOM. When were you in AFRICOM? I was in AFRICOM. I'm a plank holder. I was at AFRICOM from the very beginning. Very, very beginning. Suppose I complain because people don't answer debt collection companies. Oh, is that talking about the True Color? Yeah. That could be what the problem is. That could be the problem. Israeli Security Cabinet approves full Gaza military takeover. I don't know why they want to take it over. It's nothing but rubble. Nothing but rubble. I would just stay out of Gaza. All right, Karen, get your ID card. Don't lose it. The risky plan by Netanyahu is not backed by the military's chief of staff and will thrust the war with Hamas into uncharted territory. Agreed. Look at the Merkava tanks they've got there. Israeli leaders early on Friday approved a plan for the gradual military takeover of all of Gaza. Well, there you go. They gave it up. Now they're going to take it over at a huge cost. It's crazy. Please build your clean energy data center in Cape Town. You will not be doing any data from Maine. Hey, Susan, what's going on? What's going on? Suppose they complain because people... Okay. Yeah. Australian member of parliament has resigned after his sexual assault convictions. What's going on there? Hey, Lorette. Former families ministers resigned moments before MPs could formally expel him over sex convictions. A jailed member of parliament convicted of sex offenses has finally resigned from parliament after initially resisting calls to do so. An hour before colleagues were set to vote to expel him from the New South Wales parliament, Kiame MP Gareth Ward resigned his seat amid widespread calls to kick him out. Former families minister, he's a families minister. He's 44, had resisted calls to resign as he waits sentencing for sexually assaulting an intoxicated political staffer after a parliamentary event in 2015. He was also found guilty of sexually abused a drunken 18-year-old man at his South Coast home in 2013. Wow. It was a perv, man. He finally resigned. Wait till you're here the seconds, and it has nothing to do with time it used to floor me. Tamu, you didn't say anything about AFRICOM when you were there. When were you in AFRICOM? Switzerland is bummed out big time, and with good reason, folks, with good reason. Goods shipped from the country faced 39% tariff. Their president came here, and she had no success talking Trump off of the tariffs. The scene looked hopeful at first glance. A social media post by President Karin Keller-Sutter of Switzerland showed her smiling and shaking hands with Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Wednesday, a hastily arranged meeting after President Trump had blindsided Switzerland with a punishingly high tariff. We discussed bilateral cooperation, the tariff situation, and international issues. But what she didn't have was a trade deal. So on Thursday, Switzerland found itself in the uncomfortable position of facing a 39% tariff on goods, one of the highest in the world. At the news conference after the meeting, she said officials will continue discussions in Washington and had already optimized Switzerland's offer without giving details. So, there you go. It's unfortunate. The worst case scenario has become a reality, says Swiss Mem, which represents the Swiss engineering and tech industries. Members of Switzerland's the Social Democratic Party have been calling on the government to push for greater integration with Europe. Switzerland is not part of the European Union. Yep. Ah, not me. Oh, he was there. Okay. Oh yeah, then we had one Coast Guard officer assigned to the Africa Command, and I don't recognize him. We stopped on the way to support OIF, just a great officer. Only had 10 of Cutter. Okay, gotcha. Thank you very much for time. I understand now. Okay. I see Parliament COGTA portfolio chairperson is Dr. Zwaylam Kesey. Yes, he's from the IFP. September found he interfered to have COVID contract worth 10 million award to Digital Vibes. No, wait, I'm sorry. It's Zwaylam Kesey. No, I thought it's no. No, that's not. Okay, I'm confused. So you're talking about the committee for the because the minister for that is Valencosi Labisa from the IFP. Sorry, I misspoke. Yeah, Zweden Kesey should have been charged with criminal. I've covered this, Peter. I've been one person that keeps talking about it. The Hawk said he's guilty of crimes. They took bribes. His family took bribes and $5 million worth of bribes, something like that. That's what the Hawks discovered, and no criminal charge has been filed. That's why the Scorpions were better. They could file a criminal charge. They would have prosecuted and put him in jail by now. But Zweden Kesey resigned as the health minister, and he stays in Parliament collecting $2 million a year in salary. He shouldn't be anywhere near government. No, I'm well aware of it, Peter. I've reported on the story since it broke over and over, and I still bring it up all the time when I talk about all the corruption cases in South Africa. The Vrede Dairy Farm scandal, Zandile Gumeda's 178 fraud charges, Paul Mashatile's 60 million rand of 2 homes in the Western Cape, in Constantia and in Sandton, that he has no money, could possibly explain how he came across them. Paul Mashatile's son being awarded contracts. The list goes on and on and on. Digital Vibes. PPE scandal, the arms theft scandal. Excuse me. On top of that, we've got the Pala Pala scandal. Then we've got Travelgate. We've got Oilgate, where they sold the national reserves to BE Company and then paid the BE Company to manage oil that belongs to people of South Africa no more. Yeah, I've covered this, man. Oh, it is nuts he hasn't been prosecuted, Peter. I mean, it's a criminal offense, but they just bury it. Why isn't Cyril Ramaphosa being charged with criminal offenses? They found $580,000 stuffed in a freaking couch. They found it stuffed in a couch. And we made a song, Pala Pala. You guys ready for the Pala Pala song? Let's do that real quick. Yeah, I made a song, Pala Pala. We finally made one of those. Okay, that is the wrong window. Yeah, and so that money violated customs. It violated customs. There's no way that money was brought in the country legally, and nothing's happened. So Pala Pala Nights, folks, here you go. Here you go. This is in honor of Cyril Ramaphosa and his magical money stuffed in a sofa. Love the horn section.
Money stuffed in my sofa, a treasure untold. Shira's got a game ranch, stories unfold. Pala Pala, ritzy joint, glimmer and gold. Stay overnight, don't you stray. Couch cushions hide a rainy day. Pala Pala, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Pala Pala, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Hey.
This isn't a news program, guys. It's Night Owls. We include news as a courtesy.
Antelope roam where the moonlight beams. Luxury whispers in velvet dreams. Cyril laughs, but nothing's as it seems. Game of chance or a clever scheme. Hidden fortune stitched in the seam. You'll never know till you're caught in the stream. Pala Pala, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Pala Pala, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Hey.
Pala Pala Nights, folks. Finally got around to making that one. It took me a while because I didn't do it before because I was worried about getting the correct phonetic pronunciation of Pala Pala. Yeah, so I didn't see that story, Rudolph, about another country duplicating dollars. I find that hard to believe. U.S. dollars are very difficult to forge. The banks obviously aren't following the basic scenarios on how to check. Good to see you. Thank you for your awesome programs. Thank you, Andre Mostart. Chantel loves it. I love that too. Pala Pala. Chris, so friendly. Chantel, wish this song can be played the world over as #1 to make our grifter famous. COVID relief fund. Where did all the hundreds of millions disappear to? Exactly. At least Zim was charged. Oh, you should see what's unfolding in Botswana right now, folks. Ooh. In Botswana, all the massive wholesale corruption under Masisi during COVID, the contracts awarded, people paying, $600 for Q-tips and stuff like that. It's unbelievable, except it is believable. Botswana has gone the way of Africa in so many ways. It's shocking, 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 shocking. Yes, adding new meaning to sitting on wealth. Exactly. Okay, it's time for a song. I wrote something earlier. I can't remember what the heck it was. I know what we'll do because it's tomorrow's Friday. I haven't done this before. I'm going to do this. It's going to be fun. Okay, let's see. Create. Okay, here we go. Create. Let's go with female vocals. Okay, I want a lady singing this one. Okay, we want this jazz, rock, R&B. No, I want this to be pop, probably. Electronic dance. Let's go with pop dance. Okay. Okay. Well, that's too many N's in dance. That's a misspelling there. All righty. Okay. Oh, come on. That's not how I typed it. There we go. Oh, that's not going to work. Hang on a second here. It's doing the auto again. Or not doing the auto, it's doing my lyrics. Okay, let's see what we get here. Going to generate a song, okay? Okay, here we go. All right. Play You Can't Cancel All of Us. Yeah, no. That one I have to delete, so. Let me generate this song first. Okay, here we go. Make sure I got everything I need in here. Okay. All right. Last night the service didn't work properly. Then it came back and gave me 2 new songs later on. Initially didn't do it. So I got my songs, but I wouldn't have had to make them. Okay, let's see. All right. For a stunning chat this morning. It makes the day easier. You're welcome, Denise Bellingham, yeah. All right, okay, FAFO Fridays. You ready?
Begin. Don't test the limits, don't push too far. He's got a radar like a shooting star. America's game, don't mess with the rules. Faithful Fridays, no time for fools. Shock, surprise, a twist in the tail. Step out of line, he'll never fail. The Trumpster's got moves, he's here to stay. Faithful Fridays, don't get in the way. Faithful, watch your step. Don't lie, he'll surprise, leave you asking why. Try to get slick, he'll flip the play, embarrass you. It's the Faithful way. It's the Faithful Faithful, watch your step. Don't lie, he'll surprise, leave you asking why. Try to get slick, he'll flip the play, embarrass you. It's the Faithful way. It's the Faithful Faithful, watch your step. Don't lie, he'll surprise, leave you asking why. Try to get slick, he'll flip the play, embarrass you. It's the Faithful
All right, that's version 1. Not bad. Hopefully this one's better. That's not bad.
It's friends and family, only Fridays, you know the drill. Keep your secrets locked, pay the bill. Trumpster's here with a wink and a grin. Fat full time, let the games begin. Shockwaves, he's got that flair. Good behavior, better beware. Watch your step, don't lie, he'll surprise.
This is better.
Leave you asking why. Try to get slick, he'll flip the play, embarrass you. It's the Faithful way. It's the Faithful way. It's the Faithful way. Don't test the limits, don't push too far. He's got a radar like a shooting star. America's game, don't mess with the rules. Faithful Fridays, no time for fools. Shock, surprise, a twist in the tail. Step out of line, he'll never fail. The Trumpster's got moves, he's here to stay. Faithful Fridays, don't get in the way. Watch your step, don't lie, he'll surprise, leave you asking why. Try to get slick, he'll flip the play, embarrass you. It's the Faithful way. It's the Faithful way.
Yes, there is rugby this weekend. That's Friends and Family Only Fridays, F Around and Find Out Fridays. That's what that is. So we did that one finally. Yeah, that was pretty good. That's already uploaded onto my record distributor, so it should be up on Spotify in a few hours. I loaded it while it was playing. Yes, there is rugby at 3 p.m. South Africa time, 9 a.m. So in about 8 hours for me, it will be the Griquas in Kimberley hosting Western Province. Griquas won a big game last week. Province looking pretty pathetic. So that's going on. I'll be covering that. And for once, I probably won't be wearing my Province jersey. I will be wearing my Griquas jersey tomorrow. So why the rand is not tanking? It's a good question. It's probably collusion in the currency markets. It's more hope than anything. It will. It will. So yes, that's tomorrow. Then on Saturday, we've got a couple of games and one game on Sunday. Let me just take a look at what all the games are very quickly. So, okay, so we got, let me do it this way. They've got the schedule all messed up here. I have to go down and look at the days. So we've got tomorrow, or today is the 8th, and we've got Griquas versus Western Province. Then on Saturday, we've got the Bulls hosting the Pumas, and then we've got the Sharks hosting the Cheetahs. And on Sunday, it's Boland hosting the Lions. Okay? Wellington, Portland, Oregon. Huh? That doesn't make any sense. Somebody made a mistake. Yeah, anyway, that's what's coming up. Okay? So I'll be covering those games this weekend. So tomorrow I'll do the rugby, and then I will come back here for the news. Okay? Didn't sleep much. Doggy not well. Sorry to hear that, Julie. Okay. Son finally off of crutches after ACL surgery. Still embraced. Surgery successful. Good day. Well, that's good, Krista. Only rugby game is at 5:10 on Saturday, says Fonz. Must be the Sharks game. My goodness. Charlotte Fundavestos agrees with what he said. That's right. Conrad says he only watches cricket now. He gave up on it after the Sharks got obliterated 64-0 by the Bulls. Oh, that was painful to watch for the Sharks fans, but I enjoyed it. When do you sleep? I don't get a chance to relax much, Maggie. Ironically, when I travel, that's kind of relaxing for me, even though I'm running full speed. The rand must hold for a while. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to afford the U.S. college I'm going to be studying online at. Okay. Nice. Loads of rugby to listen to this weekend. Always enjoy your rugby broadcast. Well, thank you for that, Lorette. I appreciate that. I'm glad that people tune in for it, but I wish we get to 10,000. It's such a struggle to get subscribers on that channel. Don't know why. The commentary is pretty darn good. So anyway, if I do say so myself, most people like it. Some people don't like it. That's fine. They don't have to like it. But yeah, so I'll be covering the rugby in the morning. So, yep. By the way, for those who are even remotely curious, my email, my journey to get this email down to a manageable level is 214,000 email messages. Now, bear in mind that, folks, I was at 419,000 unread messages. There's 214,000 unread messages now, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Still a lot to go. I had to delete 60,000 emails, and it wouldn't let me do them all at once because it was just too much for the algorithm, or because it uses a script. It was too much for the script to handle. So I had to go through and delete them 100 at a time. Last night, I was at it for like 2-3 hours deleting these damn things. Anyway, oh my goodness. So yeah, we're just getting rid of them as quick as I can, but I got a long way to go to get down below that 20 threshold, whatever that might be. Anyway, so yeah. Oh boy. It's crazy. Some of these companies just sent me so many messages over the years, and I missed so many. I didn't realize it because I get 3,000 to 5,000 messages per day, and so people get upset because I don't answer an email. I'm like, do you realize how many messages I get? So I found a lot of messages where people have written to me about the RefG program in my personal email account, and I told people not to do that. And they did it anyway. And so a lot of them haven't got responses, and some of them's feelings are hurt. I'm not ignoring you. You just are buried amongst 419,000 emails. You know. I told you not to use that account. People are getting much better response rate from me in my account tied to this YouTube channel. So if you are using the correct email, it's not 100%, but I've been answering many of them, doing my best. So anyway. Oh, that's nothing. That's the ones unread. I have far more messages than that. I have, probably about 40 folders full of tens of thousands of other messages, and I had 419,000 on Friday. So a week later, I'm down to this, and I got a long way to go here. So, Yep, sure do. Got a long way to go here. But, anyway, it's a lot. So I started deleting by time-wise and then picking out the ones that I thought I still need to keep. That was too time-consuming, so I switched it to sorting by the name of the sender, and that's made easier. Vander Durhants gave us 70 Rand. Super sticker. Thank you for the heart, my friend. Thank you for the heart. Somebody was asking for the Bugger Off Bunny earlier. I don't know why. Why did I want the Bugger Off Bunny? Did somebody do something? Yeah, so I'll have the rugby in the morning. Then we'll do the news. It's on a Friday. So we'll see what surprises Trump has in store for the world on Friday. Trump has lots of surprises in store for the world, so we'll see what that is. Boy, these fanatics. I got a lot of emails from fanatics. Just going through and deleting those. We'll send Chris an email. Thank you, Chantel. That's what I need, more email. If anybody wants to send me Krugerrand, I'll take that. If you want to send me a Krugerrand, that's nice. I don't have any of those above ground. They're all buried in the backyard. Oh, shoot. Did I say that out loud? Yeah, my Krugerrands in the backyard. No. Nope. Yikes. Anyway, so Chantel's got a big smile on her face now. That's cool. So we did a poll in the news earlier today because Rebecca Davis from the Daily Maverick called me the towering figure in the refugee movement. That's what she said about me. The towering figure. I suppose that's nice. Could have said something worse, Also had surgery and damaged meniscus. Ouch, that sucks. Well, Ingrid's, I'm trying to do it a bit at a time. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do it not all the time. Yeah, so not do it all at once. Last night was a pain, though, because I had to sit there while I was watching Are You Being Served? I went back to the first season. I love that. The first episode of Are You Being Served? Dear Sexy Knickers, I don't half fancy you. Oh, I love that show. Oh, gosh. Captain Peacock, Mrs. Slocum. It's such a great show. They're all gone now. Even Mike Berry, who came on for the last couple seasons, he just passed away this year. Beth Haynes, thank you for the super sticker, 70 Rand. We're all looking for Paul Kruger's Rands. Yeah, we're looking for Paul Kruger's Rands. What's going on? My damn page is locked up here. And my mail's giving me technical difficulties. I'll have to go back to it a little bit later on. Anyway. Oh, boy. So, the Patriotic Alliance has sent their lawyer's letter to podcasters amid backlash over crazy colored people remarks. Yep. Maze gave 10 memberships. Thanks for that, Maze. That's very kind of you. Maze, Maze. But your patience in order for your thing, no high blood pressure either. Yeah, no, I have been very patient, but some people just don't believe that, and they want to be difficult about it. Yeah, so they sent a lawyer's letter amid public outrage over remarks made on the Open Chats podcast, including claims that colored people are supposedly incestuous, crazy, and sleep with their siblings. The Patriotic Alliance has sent a lawyer's letter to the show's 4 hosts. As young South Africans with substantial platform influence, you ought to know better than to reduce an entire demographic to abhorrent characters. Well, I mean, calling white people Neanderthals and white women genetically inferior, I think that sort of, I mean, I don't get it. If white women are genetically inferior, how can Rachel Khaleesi produce children? I mean, if white women are genetically inferior, if that's a true statement. It's a slow process, but he's getting there. Started getting depressed, so I'm showing him the Colonel Suno songs. Making ass songs keeps his mind busy. Who are you talking about, CB? By the way, CB, did the cap get where it was supposed to go yet? Good night, Willem. Couch song. Yeah, the couch song's pretty good. Angel, towards your Krugerrand. Thank you for the super chat. Super sticker, I should say. Appreciate that. Good morning. Got a screening call this week. Waiting for a follow-up. Okay, cool. The wait's killing me. It varies, Chief of Wethu. It varies. Depends. It's never the same for anybody. What's a distraction? What did I miss? Satellite image shows Israel's building up forces for possible ground invasion of Gaza. Yep, they're ready. Well, Israel's going to do what Israel's going to do. That's the bottom line. People can whine about all they want. It's not going to change anything. Not going to change anything, folks. New police minister sounds alarm on SAPs. I don't think that's what they expected. Okay, first off, Police Minister Firoz Kachialia is on day 6 of his new job. And this is what he says. Do you agree that he's being interviewed? Do you that policing is in a crisis? The police have a 12% conviction rate. The murder rate is sky high. The stats are terrible. The police don't have a conviction rate. The Justice Department has a conviction rate. Anyway. Anyway, that's interesting to see him talk about that. But I think Mars can happen next year. Huh? Have a good evening, Ray Cordier. How's it going? I've been watching an old British series called Yes Minister. They're playing words very good. Yes, Yes Minister was an interesting show. I should just get it done and over. Drawing it out so long makes more damage. Your sound is 100%. Okay. Is there a problem with sound? Google R is back. Google R. That's it. You were warned. Google R is gone. Google R is gone. I warned you about the all caps. That's the 3rd night in a row. You're going to be an asshole. You're going to go bye-bye. Simple as that. Maz, no problem. It's taken care of. Banned from the channel. Banned from the channel. Banned from the channel. That's what happens. Well, we can watch the channel, but now I can't comment anymore. Three days in a row, Brian Wilbur. 3 broadcasts in a row, the person was warned. Person was warned, and they want to be a tool. So, yep, the bunny came. What's the meaning of South Africa holding joint military drills with Russia and China? I'm not aware they're having joint military drills with Russia and China. They did it 2 years ago. I'm not aware of them doing it now. Anyway, so. What about Tata? What's the issue with Tata? What are you guys talking about Tata? What's going on with Tata? Keeps telling me my mailbox is full no matter how many damn messages I delete. It's crazy. Andres Devi 308 $5 Canadian. Keep it up. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Google, I didn't want to have to block you, but you're being a tool, and you know you're doing it on purpose. There we go. Bob came for Google. Oh, Tata Hasi. It's the, yeah, got you. Sorry, I thought that was Tata, like the Indian car company. I did a story on them yesterday. Sorry, I was timing out there. My brain timed out. So there we go. Okay, Tata, as in so long. Don't let the door hit you in the backside. It's Tata. No. Anyway, Tata is a common phrase. Yeah, but Tata. It was spelled Tata, T-A-T-A. With a capital letter. Paul Farrell is here. Hey, Paul, what's going on, man? What you up to? What you up to? Good to see Paul back again. Okay, guys, got it. Not everybody needs to tell us. Yeah, footsec. Yep, exactly. He was warned. And thank you, Andrea, for the 10th super chat. $5 Canadian. I'm loving that Canadian money coming over. You know, I actually love Canada, folks. I love ragging on the government up there, too, and the Canadians who vote for them. But I love Canada. It's an amazing place. The stupidity of... We are on stolen land. That idiocy needs to end. The First Nations. They're not the First Nations. The First Nations died out 24,000 years ago. The First Nations came here and died out. They didn't exist. Then the next wave came and they died out. And then people came later on and these people are the descendants of them. Yes, Canada is quite cold, but not in the summertime. Yeah, the sailors in Simonstown are probably pissed off. South African and Canada. I kind of figured that, Andreas. Yep, Andreas. Canada is beautiful. I love Canada. Yeah, I like Alberta. I like British Columbia. I like Nova Scotia. I like PE Island. Even like Quebec. Most of Canada I like. Ontario is just Ontario. It's nothing special for me. And some of the Saskatchewan, nothing special for me. But yeah, no, I've been all over Canada. All over Canada. Been up there many times. Haven't been there recently, though. My most recent visit to Canada was 6 years ago now. I was supposed to go in 2020 to Vancouver for the Sevens, and then it all fell apart. Yes, Canada's still being invaded by the Chinese. If you go to Vancouver, Anglos are not the majority. Majority are Chinese, but there's not a majority. There's Hong Kong Chinese, and then there's Chinese Communist, mainland Chinese. Yep. So, yeah, there's a huge struggle going on in Vancouver when I was there 6 years ago between the mainland Chinese Communists trying to take over and the Hong Kong Chinese who came there 10, 15, 20 years ago for a place to offload themselves. See, Justin Trudeau is courting Katy Perry. What? Alberta, British Columbia, and Saskatchewan. I don't know about that, Alley Cat. That would be interesting. All right, I did say I was going to have an early night, so Colonel Chris, thank you for your time and help. All South Africans. Isha got to go catch up. Okay, thank you. My brother emigrated to Canada in the 90s. Lives in Calgary. Doesn't like Trump, but doesn't like Trudeau. Well, it's his prerogative not to like Trump, but there's a lot of people that are wrong. This world is full of wrong people, so he's welcome to be wrong. All right, guys, be sure to hit the like button. We had turned 78 likes. Appreciate it. I'm going to hit the rack, get some sleep. I got to get up for the rugby. I got to print out the rosters, too. And be well, and we'll see you tomorrow. Join me on Rugby Ascendant for the rugby tomorrow, and then come back here for the news. All right? Cheers. Be safe out there. God bless. And thanks for helping me write another song tonight. It's pretty cool. Or produce another song, I should say. All right? That's going to do it, folks. Thank you so much. God bless, and have a lovely day wherever you're at. And have a good night for those here on this side of the Atlantic. Ciao. And Primal Boar, stay awake in Finland. Don't let the bears get you.